Hello and welcome to Plus One to Gaming. I'm Chris.
And I'm Eric.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Mark.
And we are picking up on session 2 of our campaign, Greystock's Notes, part of a overarching campaign that we've established in the world of Ao. I said it wrong. In the world of Ao. So, Bill, do you want to give us a recap or set the stage for a recap while we jump into our next session?
Sure. So I will just give you guys a quick recap. Our adventuring party is hails from the city of Harborton for whatever reason, each character has their own. They have decided to work for the Adventurers Guild, which is a gig economy company that just connects adventurers to clients and takes a small cut of their fee. They will assign parties for you if you don't have one. So they assigned you all together as an adventuring party. Your first mission was to get some notes from this old guy that you don't really know much about yet for the university. So the university asked you to get some notes from an old professor, an old employee that he must have taken them when he left. And so you are trying to track down where he lives. You traveled to the small town of Ormston based off some information that the university knew about where he lived. And in doing so, you have found out a kind of a sad story about what happened to him. And what happened to this Ferrier's family that's interconnected with this Lord Greystock. So does anybody remember kind of what happened? What did the Ferrier tell you?
Or we could do it like an in-character scene.
Yeah, so I think that's a good idea. So he kind of gave you a hint of what he knows what happened, or a tale of what happened connected to him. And he told you where the house is, so you are now able to find out where, travel to his house. But it was a little bit too late at night, so you went into the local inn. You got a room. So currently, let's set the scene. It is early in the morning. You just had a restful night's sleep in the surprisingly well-stocked and comfortable inn room that you had in Ormston, and you've come down for your breakfast porridge. As you walk down, sleepy-eyed and wiping the eye boogers from your characters, and sit down at the table. The dwarf woman that runs it, named Dolores, comes over to your table, and she says, "Hi, good morning. The porridge ain't ready yet. Give me 15 minutes, and I'll get it out for you. You can't get out on an empty stomach. That's not good for you. So just hang out here for 15 minutes. Anybody wants anything? I don't have much to drink except water and ale. I don't know if anybody likes to, little taste of the dog that bit you. But just let me know and sit down and relax. And I'll bring that porridge out to you as soon as it's done."
Yes, maybe a side of milk too, please.
Oh, of course. I have some fresh milk that I just got delivered this morning, so I hope you like it full cream, I would assume.
Indubitably.
Of course. And she hops down from the stand that she was standing on behind the bar, and you can kind of see her head poke above the bar as she walks to the back room.
Sad tale with the Ferrier, I say.
Yeah, I really didn't expect to get into that kind of deep stuff right away.
Yes, it sounded like, from what I recall, he's lost his daughter and his son. So sad.
Yeah, did I mean he said they were what, slavers?
Yes, that's what he said the town's guardman said, but we neglected to talk to them when we passed through.
You want to hit them up on the way out, or you just want to head out to the mansion?
Well, he did say it was some years ago. I don't know if there's actually any real danger there. But
Yeah, we and I mean, like you said, it's some years ago, so they might not even really remember what happened. I kind of imagine it was a big day in everybody's life, but I don't know what we're gonna get asking about something that happened, 10 years ago.
yes, well, we have a saying not to dig up the past, so. What are your thoughts, Umrun?
There's no telling if those are even the same gods. If it was a long time ago, that type of profession, people are slain or simply move on. The work is hard. Not many stay long.
Yes, well, it is quite sad
It's
when.
sad. Eventually, we'll head back to Hobbiton anyway, and at that point, perhaps we can investigate more onto the cause of that, of all of his woes.
Yes, but first, porridge.
You said he had mentioned something about slavers. I don't recall that detail.
Am I misremembering?
No. I think you're somewhat correct. It was an educated guess of what it or who it was who came in and
Some sort of bandit snatched her up, right?
snatched and killed the Anders boy.
Yeah.
So slavers, bandits, marauders. Who knows? Something far worse.
Yeah. Oftentimes they all one and the same.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. That does, I must admit that gives me pause and concern to hear his story and of those terrible things, and it's not something that sits well with me. I just don't know if there's much to do or find out about that here.
Yes, this tale has gotten a lot more curious.
Just as curious as the trip we're making to this manor to begin with. How do you feel about that, my companions? It seems an easy task at the moment, but in my life, things that start easy often end up hard.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't have hired a team of basically mercenaries to just go find some documents if they didn't expect at least something to go a little wrong.
Good point. Perhaps I should just get to the point, fellas. Oh shit, I don't have a name for my god anymore.
Just say my god.
Just say
My
the dwarven
God.
god of whatever to say.
My
Just-
God.
From
Just cover your mouth and say bleep, 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 has chosen me, and we'll fill it in later.
I'm a man of faith and a man of fighting, and if we are to come into contact with the elements and the peoples and dangers of this world as a party together in order to work for this adventurers guild, my god smiles upon the clever strategy and approach one might take in battle. Perhaps we could all share a bit about our experiences there. If we are to fight and fight hard, I want some reassurance that it won't be me and the gods alone, as it were.
Well, in my case, I am an apex predator with magical abilities, so I think we'll go along just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything that would give me confidence in the cats area. I'm familiar with cats, and usually they're good against pigeons and rats. So hopefully that's our main adversaries.
Yes, super effective.
Super effective. I mean, like I'm not much of a hand-to-hand fighter, but I can get some licks in. I'm not a coward, but I also don't want to die for these notes.
Yes, and I mean not to suggest that anyone is not fit for battle, but as we travel together, I will strive to understand your approach to that so that I may be effective and the gods will smile upon us all.
I'll be right behind you.
Zaza, I must discourage you from licking your foes, at least until after you've ripped out their jugulars.
It's it's a phrase. I don't often lick people.
Oh, yes, that is most appropriate then. Porridge!
Yeah, where's that porridge?
So as you were talking, you see the little dwarf woman walk out from the back. She's got a tray that has 3 bowls of porridge, 2 big bowls, and 1 bowl of porridge that she wasn't really sure what Lord Wizard Claus wanted with his porridge, so it looks more like porridge soup. There's so much milk in it. While the others have, it's a creamy porridge, so there is some milk in yours as well. She walks over and sets it all down.
Is the cat's bowl smaller?
It is absolutely smaller.
He goes over to the bigger bowl and just starts on that one.
Are you standing on the table, I would assume?
Yeah.
So she put it right in front of your face as she hands everybody else their porridge. Oh, thanks. This is one of my best porridges. I hope that you enjoy. And she bows and walks back to the back.
Umrin's like a little, like he's got Lord Wizard Claw's tail like in his face because he walked right up to his porridge, so he's like a little taken aback, but he's just gonna reach over and like grab the smaller porridge and kind of eat that instead.
So the Ferrier said that this place wasn't that far away. We just gonna head there like right after breakfast.
Yes, we should just ride my magical fur bus and we will be there in just a whiskers flick.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
That's another thing we should discuss later.
Well, what do you want to talk about? We got time.
Yes, I mean, what is there to discuss? Is a magical fur bus that whisks us off onto our next errand.
This is something I've never seen before. Does it?
Would you prefer to walk?
No, I would not. I'm wondering, does it have claws, fangs? Can it fight?
Does it need to eat?
Can we ride it into bat? Is this how you channel your inner key to harness the real world? I've never seen such things, especially from a creature such as yourself. And
Well, I'm most flattered. But I was bored for quite a while, so I had a little bit of practice. And to answer your question, this is a magical beast. It doesn't actually exist, but it does. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
from
Magic is very hard to explain.
too true.
But essentially, I bring forth some magical energy into a shape, into a being of my choosing, and what isn't more fabulous than the feline species to lend me some aid?
So you don't gotta like house and feed it or anything like that, right?
No. I just ask for its assistance and it appears. The wonderful thing about magical beasts is that they require very little care and feeding.
This is a powerful key. I'm impressed, tiny one.
Yes. Well, I'm just full of surprises. Speaking of which,
can see that.
Fiona! And his little familiar comes out, which is a magical rat that he likes to chase. It's his little...
You got a little magic rat. I mean, you're gonna scare the other customers. The rats usually ain't fondly looked upon in institutions where you eat.
Oh no, Fiona is my fastest friend. And he's chasing Fiona around on the table, like leaping from table to table as he's chasing her around to play.
Have some manners. Umran tries to grab the Fiona as it skids by.
I think she probably scurries up your arm, and then Lord Wizardclaw jumps up on your shoulder as well. Yes, well.
Perhaps it's time to go.
Yeah.
Like he stands up with you guys on his shoulder to try to, since you're there, carry you guys towards the exit before crossing the scene.
His claws dig in as he grips, and so he doesn't fall off. And yes, let us go.
Izazel shovels like the last. He definitely cleans his plate, shovels the last in his mouth as he like hurries. He's like, his feet are going like walking away, but his mouth and arms are staying at the table, kind of thing.
Is Dolores in sight of us? Can we say thanks to her, or is she?
We're already on.
Yeah, so you see there's a little window. She's in the back getting more prep. You know, the morning's not really a super popular time for a tavern, so she's in the back. I already moved you over, apparently. So.
Too late. We said goodbye and thank you.
Yeah, you see the little window.
I just want to be friendly to all the dwarves that I see.
You see the top of her head through like the serving window.
We didn't get a surname for her, did we? I don't think we asked.
We didn't.
No.
Oh, we're going to have to create an article for Dolores.
I know.
We absolutely will.
In that, I don't want to write it.
Yeah, so it's actually Dolores Strongarm is her name. So she's of the strong arm. I don't know if you know of the strong arms, but they're kind of the common.
I plan to ask in the wharf section, which is also the dwarf section of the city.
The dwarf wharf.
The dwarf.
The dwarf.
The dwarf wharf. Dwarf. Yeah, that works. All right, where are we at, Billy?
All right, so let me see. You guys can move this. So you take you hop along the magical fur bus. Does your magical fur bus have a name?
Oh,
What do you call this thing?
yes,
Little
it's
liquor claws.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, the magical fur bus.
Bartholomew.
Or Barf. Is it Barf? Like,
Bartholomew.
Barf on the mule? Barf on the mule. Is that because it runs so fast that makes you want to vomit?
Yes, it does quite undulate. Bartholomew.
so you hop on Bartholomew and you run. And he takes you south along the Western Kings Road. Only about 3/4 of a mile. You enter the forest, and then you're looking for the signs that the Ferrier Grandin told you about. So after a little bit in the forest, you look over and you specifically see, and then you look for it. You see an area where the remains of a drive. There is an old gap there's a gap in the old growth forest where only younger trees have rooted. Although younger is a relative term, they are all pretty large size. The canopy of the trees still block out most of the sunlight. As it's not hard to follow the path. So there is definitely a path of hard, compacted earth that you can tell used to be a road or a driveway. And sure enough, as you turn off here and slink through the forest on Bartholomew, you soon reach a clearing where you see a large manse. Does everybody see?
I see a blurry manse. As it's
Yeah, it's blurry. It's got to snap in.
Yeah, there it
Wait a
is.
second. All right, and there's Bartholomew.
Where?
We're all the way at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, nice. That's excellent.
awesome.
Where did you find that?
Oh, it's a cat that I put a saddle on. So
Oh, it's a
very
pink.
difficult.
No, that's pretty much spot
Saddle,
on.
That works.
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on.
It's the cat with the saddle. So there's Bartholomew. So
Thanks.
after
Bartholomew, you can go back to your plane now.
so after walking through this forest for almost a mile, Greystock Manor comes into view. From what you see, manor is huge. It's one of the largest manors you've seen. Well, most of you have seen. I'm sure Zizal's probably seen some pretty big ones, but comparatively, this thing is very large. It's completely overgrown with vegetation on all sides. The tips of 2 spires extend through the canopies of the surrounding trees. Ivy has grown over the sides of the dirty white walls. So you can just see that it hasn't really been touched in many years. Opposite the manse sits a large stable building. The nearest doors that you see are broken and just barely hanging on the hinges. A path of barren vegetation has been worn from the road that you've been following, which now that you're in more of a clearing, you can see that it was once stone. Having a paved cobblestone road for almost a mile through the forest, you can only imagine how difficult and how much money that must have cost. But now you can see it clearly. What do you do?
From Umran's shoulder, Lord Wizard Claws sniffs the air. Can you do a perception check?
Yeah.
15.
So it's, it smells just like the forest around here. You can just see and smell earthy musk. You smell some, birds, and with your heightened animal smells, you can smell nearby animals in the forest that you're right next to. You'd smell a little bit of decay, but not really. As you get a little bit closer to the manse, you can kind of see the remains of a cart with a horse skeleton with, but it doesn't really smell like a dead animal. But you can, just because it's been dead for so long, but you can smell it with your advanced olfactory senses. But this corpse has been around for so long that any organic material or flesh is long stripped from those bones.
Cool. Yes. The wonders of nature. Let's proceed, shall we? And he hops off from Umran's shoulder and starts to prance forward.
Okay.
As we get closer, is there any way, can I tell, like, that horse was it slain? Can I do like a medicine check or something?
Absolutely. Do you want to do a medicine, a nature, probably even animal handling, whichever one you want to do.
I'll do a medicine check, see if I can tell like if the bones have like slices on them or anything, like somebody was hacking at it or any flesh is left at all.
Yeah. As you look at the skeletal remains of this horse closer, you do see some gouge marks in the rib area, which does somebody want to give me an animal handling sense or something like that? Maybe a survival.
Ooh, 21 animal
21.
handling.
Yeah. So you know absolutely that this was not killed by a natural predator, because natural predators, wolves, bears, anything like that, they go for the neck. When they're taking down a big animal like this, they're not going to attack just the side of the animal. And these gashes are pretty big. Nothing that you know of that would be in this forested region is it's big enough to leave these splash marks. So it's a little mystery. It's still natural. It's not a sword slash, but it could be some type of weapon. But it's not a creature. It wasn't hunted.
This
Or
this
a
beast
natural.
this beast wasn't prey. It was simply slain.
Well, it looks like he's fallen and he can't giddy up.
Oh, how delightful. So insightful, Umran. I didn't peg you for a clever hunter. But yes, you are quite on the mark.
I mean, it looks like he's been dead for a long time, too. It's just a skeleton.
I'm gonna walk past that over towards, I think, are these doors here?
Yeah, so there are doors there. I don't know could you see the doors on the bottom where the path was? Yeah. So
Yeah.
because I had to. So using the tool, the doors are not really that noticeable from the wall. Or are they? Because of I tried to make sure that you could see enough of the wall to see the difference between doors and wall.
You can.
Yeah, if I go over there, I can see it pretty clearly.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So these are.
I'm gonna give it a push to see if
Yeah.
it's
So these are
locked
barn
or-
doors. So these doors you can. They're closed. They are like barn style, big swinging doors. And by pushing on it, you can tell that they are locked, which is probably just some sort of crossbar behind it. There is a little bit of give, but you can just tell that. I mean, it's not old enough that it's going to be so rotted that you're going to be able to just push through that crossbar.
There's
any
a cross-
windows along the wall or anything?
Yeah.
Just like a flat barn wall.
Yeah, over here there's it's kind of just a flat barn wall. There's all the windows are kind of above, to let in the sunlight, but it's not something that you can kind of see through from where you are.
Can Lord Wizard Claws climb up?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Give me if you're just trying to climb. I mean, there's some overgrowth on these walls, just like the overgrowth on the manse. So they're just wooden slat walls that have like some ivy and some vines growing up them. So they're not super hard for you to climb up if you want to.
Yeah, I feel like he could just pretty easily climb. Or
Yeah.
no, I don't want to say that he can easily climb. He would attempt to climb if there's like
He's a
Up to the
cat. I
window.
mean, and
cats
I'm
climb.
going to say that he can easily climb these vines, just because anybody could climb these vines. They're not hard to climb up. So as you climb up, you see through the you attempt to look through the the glass windows that are about 10 feet up right before the roof. You're having a really hard time seeing through, just because they have accumulated so much like dust and grime and pollen and things that they are letting light through, but you can't really see through as of now.
Are there any small holes or access ports?
Absolutely. So give me a perception check.
Thank you for making the shortcut buttons at the bottom.
No problem.
Helpful DM. 21 to perception.
Yeah, so you're able to easily see. There's nothing really up here. I mean, all the wood is kind of rotted, but it hasn't been that long that they're rotted all the way through. But on the ground, you do see a hole that looks like something has dug underneath the wall. It's kind of blocked a lot by vegetation, but it's big. It's definitely big enough for you to climb through if you wanted to. Everybody else, I don't know. They could probably squeeze through. I mean, it's a pretty good sized hole, but you can just walk through if you wanted to.
Okay, well, if those guys can't, maybe can Fiona go inside real quick?
Yeah, can you see through? She's a familiar, right?
Yeah.
All right, and so she's a cat?
Right now she's a rat.
She's a rat. I did not give me a second.
It can just be a generic token because she can take lots of different forms.
All right, give me a second.
And I would be loath to have you have a different token for each form that.
All right, while I do this, I'm actually interested to hear while you're doing this, while on the horse ride, on the cat ride in, I want to hear, looping back, how does each of you feel about how things are going so far and the party adventuring, just the adventuring group that you have? I know, Amrin, you already expressed your hesitancy of getting into combat, but like, just within your own head, like what are your thoughts? What are your worries? What are you thinking of? Everybody give me like a 30-second pitch of how you're feeling so far of the party that you're in.
Talk together, or
oh yeah, do you want us to just role play it out, or
no, just tell me, because you're not talking about it to each other. This is all stuff that how do you feel internal?
Umrin's a bit of a mixed bag. He's thinking he's confident in his own abilities, but has had situations where he's put himself at the forefront of things and it has not gone well, or he wasn't able to take care of business for an entire large group of people before. So on the other hand, though, being a follower of a god of battle and honor, he is a bit excited to see how people hold up and also push himself and do better than he has in the past.
Okay. Zazel, how are you feeling?
This is probably one of Zeisel's first forays out of the city. So I think that he's kind of excited. And I think he takes comfort knowing that Umren, first of all, is a human. So that might buy him entry into things that if it were just Zeisel, he wouldn't really be able to get in. And Umren talked about how he likes to fight and is good at it, so that puts him a little at ease. And Zeisel knows like what wizards can do and has seen a lot of crazy stuff in the city. So he's not super thrown off by Lord Wizardclaws being a cat. He just knows that like wizards are a lot of times like beyond his understanding. So even though he's never seen a wizard cat, he thinks like that might be normal. Yeah, I think he's excited, but yeah, I think his excitement would probably overtake any nervousness he would have about what they're doing. He doesn't necessarily think that this is going to be a dangerous mission because he is not pessimistic, I guess.
Lord Wizard Claws, are you confident? How are you feeling? You seems pretty cocky so far.
I think he finds these minions to be suitable. He knows he's got a lot of work to do, but he also has been seeing traits in them that he himself admires and wants to learn more about. And he's a cat, so he's like naturally curious, but he also likes to put that off as some sort of aloofness. But yeah, I think he has a general curiosity and interest towards most things. So that's where he's at right now.
So
he also has no problem showing off. He loves to perform.
So
Wizard
Lord
Claw,
Wizard
can
Claws,
you see anything up there?
So as Fiona crawls in, I'm guessing you're focusing to see through her eyes. Is that what you can do, right? With the familiar?
Yeah.
So through her eyes, you see the interior stable, which is dimly lit with only streaks of sunlight coming through those translucent and windows that are just so crusty that it's more of like a dim light. From this end, you see a couple remains of broken wagons, and you also see 2 boar that look like they have made this place their home. They are not concerned with the rat. They see rats all the time, so they're just going about their business. You see they're just kind of sleeping because it's the middle of the day, and boars are just hanging out right now.
Okay, so I think what Umran and Zyzel might see is Lord Wizardclaw is just kind of staring at the wall, but if he's in his, I guess like warg mode, his eyes just glow green, and it's just like solid green. As he's scurrying around, he just kind of says over, well, there's a couple of pigs in there. And then as Fiona will just kind of scuttle through and look through. What else does Fiona see?
So
or smell?
As you scurry through, you see the stalls where the horses stay. They have these half doors just to keep the horses in, but you can easily crawl under them. And you see the remains of a few horses. Their bones are completely picked clean by scavengers. Tatters of fine cloth litter the floor, which look to be the remains of their horse blankets, but you can tell that these are not just standard woolen horse blankets, that these had at one time finely printed and embossed logos and designs on each of these blankets. These were kind of the well kept and well taken care of horses. But as you go into the stall, looking out towards the door, you see that there are scrapes and like hoof prints and some broken pieces of the door that this horse desperately tried to escape, and it was no use. Just the construction of this is a little bit too much, and this horse was not able to get out, and it died. But you can't tell by the rat how it died.
I think he's going to dispel Fiona. She just goes back into her dimension.
Okay, I mean,
Can like a little mouse hole open up and she dives into it to disappear?
It's exactly how it happens. Yes.
okay. So she's gone.
Yes, just a few sad dead horses and a couple of pigs.
Yeah, there's nothing in a barn anyway. I tried to do a stand-up in a barn full of cows. I got mooed off the stage.
I'm not sure I understand that one.
Yeah, it might be over your head. The puns, they say puns are the highest form of comedy.
Are you saying that because I'm short?
A little bit, yeah. But I'm not much taller, so it's not often I get to make height jokes.
The pot calling the kettle cat. Sizel, I tried to make
Ooh,
it
that was
funny.
good.
I tried to make it
I
funny.
thought that was good. That's a good one. But I was taking a drink, so I couldn't react quick enough.
You should have spit it out. You say you're a comedian. It's all about
Umrin's gonna walk ahead of the nonsense and take a look at this in this area. Is this
So-
a fountain or something? Can I do a perception check here? Or
Perception. Is this a fountain?
Yeah. So
What
this
if he
it's not-
fail? Is it not a fountain?
No. So as you walk up, as they're having their conversation, Umrin, you're kind of just ignoring them and you're looking around. The once well-maintained land surrounding the manor is now a collection of bushes and shrubs with a scattering of tall trees around. The forest is slowly taking back the land, but the encroachment has not reached the house yet. The walls are all intact, but a few of the glass windows are shattered. One giant oak tree stands outside of the house. Old swing made out of a child's saddle hangs from one of the enormous branches. One hempen rope now snapped. The drive that you've been following ends in a loop that encircles a statue of a dancing woman with a flowing dress, forever locked in a graceful leap. A path extends from the loop a few dozen feet and ends at the main entrance of the manse. In the middle of the path, you see 3 bodies. The one closest to the manse is wearing intricately patterned leather armor over a tunic of green and orange, multiple arrows still protruding from the front of the tunic. His skeletal hand is gripping a mace, with the embossed relief of a wolf pack hunting a deer on the head of the mace. 2 additional skeletons lay at his feet, their skulls caved in. Both are wearing quilted armor and have simple long swords still in their sheaths. Give me a perception check.
A macabre scene. Everyone, or
Umrin, because you guys were kind of talking, so he's the one
Yeah.
following. But I guess if everybody, once you see this, you guys are all going to stop and look around. I would hope. So, as you're talking, you just, as soon as you get near the manse, you can just, you feel something change. The wind has almost completely died. And you still hear the sounds of the forest, but they almost feel muted. You don't know how else to describe it, but it just seems like it's things are different here.
my magical sense is tingling. Something's not right. You two look about. Give me just a moment.
Hmm.
And he's going to use detect magic as a ritual, which is going to take 10 minutes.
All right. So are you going to stand for 10 minutes? Or what are you guys going to do for 10 minutes?
When I'm looking at the bodies, can I do anything to learn or like remember about these colors, tabards, insignias? Are they familiar?
Do you want to? What check would you use?
That history, right?
Insight, history?
Yeah, probably history would be the only thing that you could use. So give me a history check.
10.
I just had a quick idea, Bill, that popped into my head. Like for stuff like this, where it's like, do I remember this thing that also doesn't exist in this world and we have to create stuff?
Yeah.
Could we like tie like how much we contribute to like the role in a sense? I don't know if that's even worth like exploring, but if it's like, I don't know if it's like a high roll, you get like a higher degree of. Is that something we're interested in exploring or pass? It's also fine to pass.
Like a world building roll?
So yeah, so like if you roll high, yes, I think that that's a good idea. If you roll really really high, I will tell you everything that's relevant, but you can make up all the details. I think that's a good concept. Is be like, you do remember this. What do you remember about? Like, I'll tell you the specifics that are important, and then you can fill in the details. So
Okay, cool.
I think, yeah, with a 10, you don't really know too much about these. Nothing strikes you as historical about this. You don't see anything fantastical. It looked like that's the colors of the tunic that he wore. You don't know too much about why, but you do know that they are quality. It's a quality tunic. It is not a cheap one. It is a lot. It's decorative almost. So the quality wasn't as functional as it is decorative. So I mean, it's still a very high quality armor set, but most of the time and effort was gone into making it look very nice. It's not magical. It's not +1. It's not enhanced in any way. It's just a really fancy set of armor. As you look at that, you see that the main entrance consists of a set of intricately carved double doors. Moss and small vines have entrenched themselves into fine detail into the carving, but the craftsmanship and quality is evident. 2 rows of large windows, as tall as a man, dully reflect the blue and green of the surroundings. Without the constant cleaning and care that must have happened during inhabitants, all of the windows have been caked with pollen and grime that blows in from the forest. Vines of large leafed ivy have crept up and now cling to every possible surface, only leaving areas of the windows free. The walls that are visible show a dull white, now tinted yellow-green with dust and pollen. From the main entrance pathway, the remains of a cobblestone path loop around to the south of the manse. That's what you see now. So are you going to just stand there for the 10 minutes? So right now...
No, I was going to try the door. Is it locked?
It is locked.
Can I go to a nearby window to look in?
Yeah, well, once again, these windows are just so caked with crap that...
Smash it.
You're going to smash the window?
Yeah.
Okay.
My quarterstaff, just kind of like try to rake out one of the panels to see if I can peek in.
All right. Roll me a damage with your quarterstaff. Not an attack, because you can hit a window.
Okay, I'm gonna
keep missing the window. God damn it.
11.
All right. You take your quarterstaff and you bang this window very hard. 11 is a damn good roll. It's the max that you could possibly do. You swing this thing as hard as you can, and as soon as you hit it, that force just reflects right back at you. And give me a Constitution save.
Shit.
All right.
16.
Luckily, you are able to control the rebounding force, like your fine-tuned muscles. You know, as soon as you feel a little resistance, your body's shaken from this reverberation. But you've been trained how to deal when you hit something that is hard or that is just almost immobile. It's like if you hit the side of a mountain with your quarterstaff as hard as you could.
Sweet.
So it is. Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of look at the others or look at Zeisel. Like, very strange.
Yeah, it's my experience that usually when you hit a window with a stick, it breaks.
Didn't you say you were good at the combat thing? I feel like a window would fall to your power.
I had assumed as much as well. It's too old and grimy to see through. Is anyone good with locks?
So I have a little trick I can do where I can open doors and stuff just by saying jokes. But it costs me, I can only do it so many times a day, and I don't know if I want to save those things for if we get into real trouble later.
How conservative.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spend a spell slot opening a door when we might need to save my life.
Yes, well, it is my experience that wizards do protect their homes in a number of magical ways, which I think our friend Umran has just experienced.
I'm gonna try to hit the door.
I can tell you how that's going to go.
All right, so
we want.
So when you strike the door, you see that the door is already kind of splintered at the lock and at the frame, but it's still holding. You don't feel that same reverberation that you felt when you smashed the windows, but with a quarterstaff, no matter how hard against a door, it's these are very solidly built doors, and you feel a little bit of a give. Actually, it feels softer than the glass of the window, but you're not going to break. You don't break through.
There's no magic here, so perhaps if we check around, there'll be another way in. But I'm not sure if brute force is the way to get through this entrance.
You don't want to try just kicking it in?
Well, I just did.
Do it again.
Maybe. Like several times. It's a door.
Yeah, do it. If you want
to roll damage for the last time that I hit it, or I thought I was going to.
Are you trying to kick it in, or are you trying to kicking it in? Like if you're kicking in a door, a quarterstaff is going to do less than your leg. You know what I'm saying? Like if you try to break into a door,
is it
poking it with a stick? Yeah,
absolutely. A quarterstaff is not.
Wait, how much damage are you going to give me from a foot?
Well, your foot is not. It's not damage. You're not trying to damage the door. You're trying to kick in the door. That's a strength check. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to hit the door and break the door, like if cops, when cops try to break in, they don't hit it with their nightsticks. They
hit it with a battering ram, which I don't have.
Yeah, but you don't exactly. You don't have a battering ram, but like a quarterstaff is like a broom handle, basically.
I know what a quarterstaff is, but
yeah.
Okay, I need to roll a strength check, is what you're telling me.
Yes, you're trying to. That's what I'm saying. Like if you try to kick the door, it's a strength check.
So it doesn't matter.
Well,
yeah. Sorry. Yes, you can tell that this is a very solid door, and you're not going to kick in. Sorry, I was trying to. When you said you wanted to hit it with a quarterstaff, I wanted to keep that in character and not ask, are you sure you don't mean you're trying to break in the door? But yeah.
I was also trying to break in the window.
Yeah, well, window you break you're trying to break that with a stick. The door and a window you try to break different. Sorry, I don't want to keep harping on it, but yes.
I mean, you need to tell me how I am supposed to break things in this world.
No, I mean, but that's.
I know swords are strength.
Yeah, well, like you try to kick in a door, which is like your foot. If you had like a hammer, you could probably help, but like a quarterstaff is not like, or a crowbar or something. But a quarterstaff is you just banging against the door. Sorry, I'll be more specific next time. I just thought you were checking to see if it was magic more than you were trying to break through the door.
I want in this building.
I hope dilapidated houses are the only thing we come up against. Otherwise, I don't like our chances.
Yeah, are you guys still hanging out here? So you're still Lord Wizard Claus is kind of giving snarky comments while he's doing this ritual. But he still has a while to go for this ritual because it hasn't been 10 minutes. So do you guys want to continue on exploring, or do you want to wait here and wait for Lord Wizard Claus 10 minutes?
Yeah, do you want to walk around and see if there's another door somewhere?
Yes, I desperately want to find some way in.
Let's do that.
Let's make a game. Let's see who gets in first.
You are still doing your ritual, so you're in there. So you guys, as you walk around, the cobblestone path travels slightly downhill along the side of the house, passing between the manse and the large oak tree, where it seems to disappear under years of fallen leaves. So you can keep going down. Where are you going? Yeah. Near the large oak, windows in the house are considerably smaller than on the front. The windows that are present are almost completely blocked by a row of overgrown bushes planted flush against the southern side of the wall.
I kind of expect like every window's gonna have the same.
I might try them all each individually.
You want to hit each one?
Oh wait, is this a door up here? Perhaps the path seems to turn.
Yeah. So give me a perception check.
Do I need to perceive that?
Actually, you don't need to perceive it. Yeah, I was supposed to have leaves covering that path, but I didn't. So now you know that there is a door on the side. You already saw it. It's kind of covered by branches, but you can see that it's more of like a side door. It's not as fancy. It's more utilitarian. But there's definitely a door on the inside.
I'm gonna jiggle that handle.
Roll for
Is it
jiggle.
locked?
Yeah. If you jiggle the handle, you see that it's also locked. But you can tell, and especially Zizal, you can tell that this door and this lock are more
Is it
standard.
smaller? Like
Yeah.
a normal, just not a double door, just kind of like a
Yeah.
side entrance. Okay.
Yeah, and the lock is you can tell like it's not going to have like intricately or cool key. It's just like it's a utility door with a kind of like a deadbolt lock.
Okay. I'll try to kick this one too.
Okay. Do a strength check.
18.
Yeah. So as you kick this door, it just completely. You kick the door off the hinges, and it is a combination of the smaller size of the door and a little bit of dry rot from being over.
I'm gonna look at Zizel and say, the locks for the servants are never as strong as those for the masters.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take one step into the room.
That's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, and head over to +1togaming.com for more live discussions, actual plays, character creation tips, and more. You can also join us live every Sunday on Twitch at twitch.tv/+1togaming. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.